everybody. I'm doing a review or explanation of my Traxxas Jato drag car build. A lot has been asking how did I build it and how did I get the setup I got. I'm gonna start off with the first. These are the Traxxas funny car drag front wheels. Just quick swapping on that. We got the stock suspension on the front, A-arms, struts, well, not struts, shocks, and turnbuckles. Going on to the back, we just kept the regular old stock resonator pipe. Add the little bullhorn, we call it right now. And, to the rear end, when you do the rear end, you have to switch the whole rear suspension. As you can see, it's a little oily right there, but those are RPM rear banded arms. Those are the rear banded A-arms, banded turnbuckles, and banded axles. Rustler banded hubs. You have to switch all of this to be able to run a small tire. When you put the banded arms on it, they will be too long, so you have to take and cut the shafts. If you look, they are way smaller or shorter than stock length banded axle arms. In addition to that, when you installing the arms, you have to come right down in here where the arms, I would say where the arms go through the pins, hold it to the chassis. You have to take a Dremel or a grinder or something to cut it. And I don't know if you can see, but in there you have to grind down the end of the turnbuckles. Not the turnbuckles, but the end of the arms. So you can, if you don't, the arm's gonna hit the chassis or the transmission at the rear. So you have to grind it down so it can fit flush on the end of the arms. Can't get a good picture here, but you have to grind it down. Yeah, it's a little dirty. I did a little testing. I ain't cleaned it off yet. Got to blow it off. But yep, you have to grind that down. Also, on the axles, when you remove the old axles, the original Jato arm axles, and putting on the banded axles, you have to cut the shafts off the transmission, the output shafts. You have to grind the ends down just a little bit because they're longer than Rustler or banded transmission output shafts. And the carriers, well, not the carriers, the yokes, they're a little shorter than Jato axle yokes. so the hole won't line up until you cut the shaft down just a little bit. And you can see I added a wheelie bar also. Added a wheelie bar. I got this wheelie bar from Nick Steel. Nick Steel, I believe he's going by Nick the Quick now. If you know, you know. I just did this little mod. I took and excuse me. I took and cut the head down. Chopped the head off to lose more weight. You can see that head has been cut. If you have a stock 3.3 engine, you will know that this head has been cut, and I'm gonna show you the pieces that I cut off right here. If you can see right here, that is the other part of the head. And the head has been completely chopped out. That's how much of the head I cut off. I'm trying to lose weight, and electric, you can just up the battery count, the cell count, or a bigger engine, also, well, bigger motor in electric, bigger engine in nitro. But in nitro, to go faster, you have to lighten the car up. Either lighten the car up or go bigger. You can't up the battery to the engine or nothing. Battery. You have to lose weight on the nitro. So that's what I cut. This right here, when I cut this head off, this lost 36 grams. So 36 grams of weight off this car. I would say that's a big amount. That's a fair amount of weight removing from this small of a scale car. This car does pretty good. Goes pretty straight, and like I said, I'm well and ready to see how much this weight reduction how much gains, or how good the car look losing this much weight. Like I say, cutting that head off there. It's a little over half, I would say. And that's ended up to be 36 grams weight loss. And yeah. Also, you don't have to use banded rear. You can use Fortec rear arms, rear A arms and suspension. And it'll be a little narrow in the back. Like I say, I would say that might make the car hook a little better, and it'll be lighter, since the Fortec A-arms are smaller or shorter. The overall weight would be a lighter weight. See, I'm just giving a little review on this setup. Obviously, I've been playing with gear. Can't give out my gear. So you have to play around with your gear setup. Try to get the most out of your car. Like I said, once again, the rear end is Traxxas hubs, two-wheel drive rear end. Got the Traxxas hubs, Traxxas carriers. Banded turnbuckles. Banded drive shafts. Banded A-arms. I'm using the stock Jato shocks. I just switched the shocks around from the front. That was on the front of the Jato, I believe, or in the middle. He just, oh yeah. With this setup, you have to switch the arms around. So your left arm, your left A-arm goes on the right side, and your right A-arm goes on the left side, and you mount the shocks to the rear. I mean, it's pretty simple. It takes a little bit of time. Like I say, the modified make it fit. And here, I took and this had the bumper on it, so I removed the battery tray. If you know, it has a battery tray on the back of the Jatos. So I took and cut the battery tray off and cut the bumper right here, and you mount it back up to hold your hinge pins in. You can see the hinge pins are right there, and that little bracket right here that I cut off, it holds the hinge pins in. So you need this part on here, so you can just take your stock bumper, cut it. Don't cut it so you gotta cut it so it'll still block your hinge pins and hold your hinge pins in on each side, because that's the only thing that holds the hinge pin in. You can see, took that, cut it. So I still got an easy start on it, but I'm gonna take that off, either go to a pull start to get a little faster, but I wanna go to a bump box, or I don't know, somebody give me some tips on how I could make it either for a drill, but I believe I want to go to a bump box on it. Like I said, just to move that weight and this rotational resistance of the easy start and the pull start. Like I said, I'm running a Traxxas battery, you can see in there, instead of running the stock battery tray back here. You say I remove the side guards right here for the pipe, and over here. You say that's pretty much it, man. You say do this, and you can run small tires on your Jato. It gives the car a narrow profile. It lights the car up, and I believe when you go narrow in the ring, it makes the car hook a little better off the line. So that's how much weight we got off of the car just with the head chop. Removing the bigger wheels, lose weight. Remove the stock suspension, you lose weight. Like I say, the key to nitro is losing weight. The more weight you lose, the faster the car is gonna get up out the hole, or the faster the car can pull on the top end, because it doesn't have that much weight. More upgrades to come on the Jato. Now just stay tuned. So we're trying to get this thing faster. I'm glad you tuned in. If you're still here, hit that like button, share, comment, and if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell. Like I say, this is the Jato's small tire setup. This is how I did my small tire setup. Banded rear A-arms, banded drive shafts, banded turnbuckle, Traxxas hub, two-wheel drive hubs, axle carriers. Put the left A-arm on the right side and the right A-arm on the left side. You're gonna have to cut your axles to fit. For each half shaft, you got to cut it. I can't give you an exact measurement of what to cut or how long they are. So you just cut it to fit your setup. Put it on, cut it, check it. Put it on, cut it, check it. Take it off, cut it, check it, until you get a good clearance to where the arms move freely. As you can see, you can see my arms, they're still functioning pretty good. Right here, they still working. So do that, and like I say, you can run this small tire. You got to cut the output shafts on the transmission to fit the yokes on the on the axles. The stock banded transmission output shafts are longer than the two-wheel drive banded rustler / output shafts. So you have to cut it to fit the yoke here. Like I said, you have to cut the inside here again. Say it one more time. You have to cut the inside of this gear in here. Not the gear. The inside of your A-arms. Let me get this pencil and show you, just in case. You have to get the you have to cut the back side of this back here. The shaft here, you got to cut the back side of it here and back here on the other one, on both sides. And I can't remember if you had the clearance it at the bottom. I'm thinking you have to clearance it at the bottom also. But you will be able to tell. Like I said, it's all testing and fitting, man. Customized. Let me see. Yeah, I can't tell right off. But I'm thinking I did cut the bottom of it. But yep, this is how you get this rear end set up on a Jato, Traxxas Jato. You can say you can go with Bandit or you can go with Fortec. If it was me doing my first one, if I would do this one again, I would probably go with Fortec. That'll give me a shorter profile in the rear. Like I said, the rear end, it'll be closer in together and it'll be a little lighter. But I went with the Bandit setup. It still gave me that tub look, that short rear end look, and able to run small tires. So you can see the front is still stock suspension. I just switched it out and put the Traxxas funny car front wheels on it, and left it like that. You can see the front is way wider still than the rear, but this car does pretty good like it is. Like I said, that's how you do it, man. Traxxas Jato drag wheel. And on the clutch, I'm running the stock clutch, but what I did on the 2-shoe clutch, I took the clutch off, disassembled it, took the spring off of the clutch, and I cut like 4, maybe 5 coils off the spring and installed it back on the car. You're gonna have to cut it, and you have to bend the side that you cut, bend it back to make a hook or hoop so you can lock it back in. You will see what I mean when you disassemble your clutch. And then what this is doing is enabling the car to turn up more RPMs before the clutch engages, fully engages, giving you more of a harder hit off the line. The tighter the spring is, the more RPMs you have to build up before it engages. So yeah, I also did this little mod to my clutch also, trying to get a better 60-foot wheel, call it, but with 6 foot in RC world because it's scaled down. Trying to give it a harder hit off the line. And you say you can buy a better clutch, but with a stock Traxxas clutch, you just, like I say, disassemble the clutch and cut 4 coils off now to start with, 4 or 5 coils off to start with, and rehoop your end so you can lock them back together, lock the spring back together, and install it back. Pretty simple. Like I say, trying to gain a little bit of bottom end, a little bit more hit off the line. enabling the car to rev up higher before it moves, so it'll give it a little bit more off the line, like, you know, like holding the clutch on a car or a motorcycle and revving it up and then letting it go. You know, when you do that, the car comes out way faster or hits harder. Like I say, this is it, man. Hope you like the video. If you want to see something else, drop a comment below, man. Like I said, if you made it this far, like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. Tell me something else you may want to know, and I'll try to help you out in the comments. Let me know what you want to see on the next video, man. This is the Dirty Pigeon, and I'm out.